Good morning, hello everybody, and how are you today? I've not been on for a long time, and apologies for that. I've been really busy doing other things. Had a few holidays and just generally lots of things have happened. I've not actually gotten to actually making a video, so I've really missed it. So I thought I'd just pop on today, do a quick sort of chatty little video. I hope you all are well. I hope everything is okay with you all, and thank you for being here. If you've not subscribed, I hope you'll subscribe at the end of the video. Now this video today is all about, well, saving money again. I've done quite a few videos in the past on saving money, and I wanted to sort of talk about things what I've been doing lately as well. I'm not actually working at the present time, so it's very important for me to minimise my outgoings, so also to save money where I can as well. And so I thought I'd just let you know how I'm dealing with that and how I save money generally as well. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is saving money on food bills, etc., which affects everybody, doesn't it? And you might all have seen Martin Lewis's site in the past telling us to shop more wisely, and I think that's more important than ever before. So there's lots of things out there that we can do to cut down our shopping, and I've wrote a few notes on what I'm doing, and I just thought I'd chat about it really. So for food shopping, I'm finding that I get into sort of this pattern where I generally order roughly about the same thing every week, and then over a matter of time it will build up, so my pantry or my cupboards or my freezer will be filled with a lot of things. So then I've got to think, right, I need to do sort of a stock take on that and see exactly what there is, so that I don't reorder what I've already got. So by looking actually, first of all, before you do any shopping list, and I think a shopping list is the ideal thing to do actually to save money, and also to plan what you're going to have as well. And what you can do, and I've done this in the past, is just go and shop all offers that are in the shop or supermarket, and come back with, you know, things like that, and thinking, oh, I've got a good bargain. But is it a bargain if you don't actually want it, or you won't cook with it, or, you know, you stash it away in the cupboard and then you've still got it in the cupboard months later? So we've all got things in the cupboard that I've done a clearing out about my cupboard videos, and I'd recommend you watch that as well, because that also gives you some good top tips of what to do with your leftovers. So please look at that video. And so again, let's go back, look into our cupboard, see what we've got, make a whole list of it, and then we can have a little look. So I've got lots of cookery books. If you haven't got a lot of cookery books, you can get so many free resources and recipes online for free. There's lots of ideas online as well. So for example, if you look in your cupboard and you've got a packet of lentils, for example, you can just put in what to make with lentils, and it'll come up with lots and lots of recipe ideas for you. So I would really recommend that, because by utilising what you have got, you can limit what you need to buy, and that won't, you know, that won't be every week obviously, because you'll soon run out, but you'll keep that stock rotating, you'll keep all your products in your kitchen and cupboards, pantries fresher, because you're using them up, you know, as well, and not stashing them. I remember coming across people who've had things in the cupboards and they've been out of date over 5 years, you know, like stock cubes or spices. Things don't have an infinitive date on them. Do a simple stock take of what you've got in those cupboards, and then work out what you're going to make with them. So I've said a free resource is the internet. Books, cookery books, ask your friends and family. They might actually not need them and be able to donate some cookery books for you. Also, the charity shops are filled with very cheap books. You can pick up a great cookery book for about £2, £2.50 on average. Often they are very new books as well. A lot of the times, if you look about January or February time in the charity shops, or March or April, something like that, all throughout the year, people will have had Christmas presents or birthday presents, and they will have been bought unwanted gifts and often donate them. So it's a great way of picking up a good book for very, very cheap as well. And then you can use your book to create new things, because we often get into a routine or a rut, don't we, where I think we probably make 7 sort of things a week, and to kind of generally stick to that. So by getting in a new book in the house, a nice cookery book inspires us to try something new. And that's really important, otherwise you get bored with the food and you don't enjoy it, and it's mundane, you know, and it's not something that is an enjoyable task either. And you won't then give it any thought either. So I'd recommend that as well. Now, how to save money on your food. There's lots of ways of saving money on food, and there's lots of different choices out there of where to shop. I'm not going to tell you where to shop, you can shop where you like, but markets, traditional outdoor indoor markets, are a great way of picking up lots of different foods, and they are very competitively priced. I'd always check that first of all. It's nice to get something, you can see your produce, it's fresh, and you can often get a good bargain towards the end of the day from a market. The downside is you'd have to go into a town centre, generally speaking, for that, and carry it back to a car park or carry it back home, etc. But markets need supporting, you know, it's been part of our heritage for years and years, and you know, if you've got a market, try out and support them. Obviously now we've got farmers markets as well, and markets at farms where they'll have a farm shop. These are all very, very nice. They're often usually a bit more expensive, but the produce generally is more fresher usually. I can't always say generally for everything, can you? But they are very nice. But as I say, check your price on that, because if you're trying to save money, the experience is lovely, but the price will be a bit higher. And then we come to your local shops, of course. They need supporting, don't they? So if you've got a food shop of some sort, or any type of shop, and you can afford to shop locally, check your prices, and if you can afford to shop there, support these businesses, because you know, now more than ever they need your support. Supermarkets are a great way of saving money, and you know, you can have apps now on your phone where you can accrue points or rewards, you can get benefits when you shop, and you can often have coupons as well and discounts. And years ago we used to have the coupon, the paper coupon that we'd all cut out, if you remember that, out of magazines or newspapers or leaflets that were posted through your door. And then you go to the said shop and get the discount. You don't see that happening much now, do you? But if you get an app for the supermarkets, then they will give you the discount on the app, and then you can get it off your shopping. And what I've done is I've just popped the laptop on, so I've got the Tesco. I don't think you'll be able to see it from there really at all, but you can go on it. And this is tesco.com/groceries. And you can get yourself a club card on the Tesco website. These have been going for absolute years, so I'm sure you're aware of it. But even on the computer, it's telling you the special offers. And you can scroll down that, click on your special offers, see what offers they have got, and then you can either put it on the grocery, on your own grocery app, or on the website, do your grocery shop if you're having it delivered, or you know what sort of prices there are and the reductions that are taking place, that you can go and get your shop. You'll need time to sort this out, won't you? You know, you're going to have to put the time in to find out if there's any offers that are worth your while. So Tesco do that, and they do club card vouchers as well, so you get points for every item that you spend when you show your club card. And then those club card points will build up, you'll get rewards and vouchers, and you can use them for a whole host of things. And it's good if you leave it and mount them up over the year and then get benefits. I get magazines delivered to my door, I use that, and any excess I take it off my Christmas shopping at the end of the year. Now, to take it off your food shop is not the wisest thing to do, because you only get that value, whereas against some other thing like a meal or an experience or a magazine or anything like that, you get sometimes up to 3 times the amount, sometimes 2, it depends on what club cards are doing. Check Tesco for the latest information, because they are from time to time changing that, not often to our benefit, but it's still a good reward, and still you can get, you know, quite some good benefits from that. So I'd recommend that. And then we come to Lidl. Lidl, it said that they've had the cheapest basket compared to all the other supermarkets, April 2024. Great prices, nice experience really in the shop, because you've got a fresh bakery. I like a Lidl. And the vegetables. You've got to often watch out for the quality of the vegetables. Not always 100%. I found Tesco are absolutely appalling of late. Underripe things, by the time you've got them after a few days and they're supposedly going right, they've gone bad. So check all your quality. Obviously the best thing to do is to be in store. When you're in store, you can feel what you're buying. When you've got a food delivery, it's up to somebody who's doing the shopping for you. That often isn't very good, is it? You know, so it's best to get out there and pick what you want, basically. Anyway, so Lidl's good. They've got their own app. They give you a lot of coupons each week. They give you rewards as well. So it's basically a reward in food. So if you shopped a lot, you then get that little coupons for free this or free that, reduction of something else, you know, so it gives you discount on your shopping. And of course that's great, because they are saying on the whole that they are the cheapest supermarket anyway. You're getting the benefit by shopping there with the cheap prices anyway, so to get extra reward is really good, isn't it? You know, so that's that. And then we've got Asda, and they say Asda rewards, pounds not points. So you shop there and then you get money off your shopping in a little pot each time. The first time you download the app, they'll give you £5 for doing it, so it's well worth doing that if you haven't done that anyway. I did that and started shopping, I think last September, and built up quite a lot for Christmas, you know. And so I did one shop at Christmas time and got quite a lot of money off, so that was a real good benefit. And I do like Asda shop. I do live quite away from all the supermarkets, so I do have to travel in to a supermarket quite some distance, so I tend to plan where I'm going when I'm going to the main town, so I can get my shopping, and I might go to several places at once to justify the petrol. So shopping smart, checking all these apps for the supermarkets, for the offers and the promotions and the cashbacks and the reward points, and buying less through making a list of what you want, you know, and either using a cookery book or online to plan your meals based on what you've got in your cupboard. And let's get that stock rotation going, you know, and using up stuff that's been in the cupboard and get it out of the way. That's saving money on the whole, and also saving money immediately. Yes, you've got to buy things to go with those items, but you're going to actually have something probably a little bit different, which will be more fun for the family as well, won't it, having and trying some new experience and new recipes, etc, etc. So now when you're actually getting into the supermarket, you've got to think about food reduce as well, because there's lots of offers in the supermarket, like I've mentioned before. You've got your apps, you've got your discounts and coupons. In store, there'll be price reductions and promotions which need checking out as well. Obviously, if you go with a list, a generalised list, you might want, you know, certain vegetables, certain tins, certain packaged goods, toiletries, things like that. You can then have a little look at the prices for those items. So let's say you wanted some shampoo, and you go to the shampoo section. Always check the end of lines in every section, because they are often full of promotions of that product, those products, and you might be able to get something which is a premium brand that might have £2, £2.50 off, half price, that you wouldn't have normally bought, but you can actually buy into because it's quite a reasonable price. Don't get, you know, drawn into buying something that's really overpriced that you wouldn't have normally bought, and you know you don't really want just because it's reduced. You know, be mindful of what you're buying, you know, and do you really want that? You know, is it really good value for money? Is it worth you buying at that price? You know, question everything. Don't just be fooled, because they are great at encouraging us to buy products. That's what they're great at. Their psychology behind the buying process has been really looked into, and you know, it's not something, you know, you are made to make that decision. You are encouraged to make that decision. You know, if you're aware of it or not, you know, everything has been done from where they place the product to how they are grouping the product, what they're saying about the product, is all encouraging you to buy that product for a reason. There's a lot of psychology behind the shopping experience that's going on that you might not be aware of. So check if you need it, if it's worth the money. You choose whether you're going to buy that product or not. Obviously, supermarkets also have their own brand, and they also have things on sale, you know, because they're getting near the end of the line. So, you know, there's lots of different choices, and there's lots of ways of saving money within a supermarket as well. If you go to a supermarket at certain times of the day, you may find that products are reduced. They might be getting very near to their sell-by date, and they'll be heavily reduced. Now, different supermarkets reduce their prices at different times of the day. On the whole, most of them will reduce their prices towards the end of the day. It may well be, you know, a couple of hours to within half an hour of the store closing that you'll get a reduction. So if you live near a supermarket and can be bothered to go late at night, you may find you get some incredible discounts. I don't live near a supermarket, so I'm not going at night time a long way to see if I can get a discount. But if you're living near a supermarket and it's very, very close, it's a great way of saving yourself a lot of money. But certain supermarkets do reduce their goods. Not as high a discount, but they still reduce them. So I've been in a Morrison's and I've been Tesco, for example, and there are areas within the store that they have allocated for reduced items, and there are people reducing those earlier in the day. You know, about midday, lunchtime, there's been things in the Tesco, in the Morrison's, in Asda, you know, all the major supermarkets have had things reduced, and the item might have been £4.50 and it's been reduced down £1, something like that, which is still a great reduction if you want to buy that item. Ideal for something for tea, or ideal for something that you can put in the freezer, because £1 off is better than nothing off, if it's going to be something that you can eat. You know, so always have a little look in that area, because there's nothing wrong with those products. You know, if you'd have gone yesterday, you'd have paid full price for it and not given it a thought. I'd always be very careful if it's hot, and take yourself a cooler bag with ice packs in if you buy anything that's dairy or chicken or meat or anything like that. As I say, go prepared if you're going shopping. Take some, you know, cooler bag and some ice and things like that. And so then you can get them home fresh, and you can eat them or freeze them. Bulk buying from the supermarket, you know, if you see something where there's lots and lots of produce heavily reduced, see if there's something that you could make with them. I always, if I see things like bananas, I'll bring them home and chop them up and pop them in the freezer, and then I'll make banana bread with them, or anything, you know, fresh fruit and stuff like that. I shall bring them home, just wash them, pop them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer, and then bring them out to make things like smoothies, jams, coolies, you know, things like that. Pop them in a little crumble or whatever. So be mindful what you are buying and what's on offer, and see if it's something that can be frozen or preserved in any way, and then it's a great price and a great reduction. Also, shops like B&M and Home Bargains sell food, toiletries and all sorts of things, toilet paper, kitchen rolls, lots of things that you have to buy for the house, air fresheners, etc, etc. And they often are cheaper than the supermarkets. You get a good reduction. I've seen people with trolleys walking around B&M, you know, filling it up with household foods and household goods, and see that actually some of the prices are incredibly cheap, so you can save a lot of money by going to those sort of places as well. So have a little look if you're going into pound shops and all these cheaper shops, pound stretchers and things like those sort of shops. Have a look at toiletries and all the food and the home products, and see if you can save money there as well. Going back to Lidl, they do occasionally, if you're looking, have a box of fruit and vegetables that they have reduced down and they really need eating on that day. And if you're very lucky, you might find one. They're quite rare. If you go into your local Lidl, you might never see them. I don't know what time they put them out. It might be late in the day, I'm not sure. But they have a box of, it's a cardboard box, and it's got all sorts of random fruit and vegetables in. So whenever I'm in Lidl, I always have a little look, and I've actually found a box recently. I've come across them before, but they were a bit manky, the fruit and veg, so it's kind of a hit and miss. But I suppose if you're going into the Lidl quite often, you know, and you live near one, it's worth having a little look, and you might be successful. But as I say, I go a long way to get to my supermarket, so I wouldn't find them on a regular basis, you know, so it's lucky if you can get them, obviously. But I believe they were £1.50, or was it £1.99? I think it was £1.50. And it was a cardboard box, you know, quite about the size of a washing up bowl, quite deep. And it was filled with quite a lot of fruit and veg. And on this day I got, for example, a big bunch of bananas. They were going a bit brown. A packet of tomatoes, a packet of mushrooms, a packet of leeks. They were very brown on the end. 2 little romaine type lettuces, and I think about 3 or 4 lemons and limes thrown in the box as well. And I think there was 2 like big random tomatoes as well. I got this and I thought, oh crikey, I'll get one of those, and I brought it home and I made garlic mushrooms with the mushrooms, and I chopped all the bananas up and froze them. The tomato was sliced up and I put them in the oven and did sun dried tomatoes with them. The lettuces I just chopped up and we had like a Caesar salad for tea. So, and I worked it out. I think it was something like it would cost me about £12.50 or something like that for it, if I'd have bought them separately. So I think it was incredible good value. So I would certainly strongly recommend you looking out for those if you're in a Lidl. And as I said, it was in the daytime, it wasn't late at night, so I don't know what time was it? Let me think. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I don't know what time. Mind you, they did shut, I think 4 or 5 because it was Sunday. So I don't know. You'll have to try and see when your local one, or ask them, because you know the man on the till or the lady on the till will tell you. So that's really good. So yeah, accruing points and discounts on your food, as before I said. Co-op, they do discounts as well. I've been told they discount between 7 and 8 PM in the co-ops. Marks and Spencer's, I've been told they're half an hour before you get a Marks and Spencer's food hall. But just go in, you know, any of these supermarkets, just go in and see what you can find and what sort of time, because it often depends on the store manager of the town where you live. And they know their peak times, don't they? I know Lidl used to put down if the store was busy on the computer, on the app, which I thought was really good, so you could look and see if it's a quiet or a busy time before you even went, which is really good. Morrison's have been told about lunchtime onwards. Sainsbury's depends on the store manager in store. Lidl, you know, could be any time in the day, and Aldi about 8 o'clock at night. So they're your supermarkets. Now let's get on to large companies selling in bulk. The next way of saving lots of money is to buy in bulk online. There's quite a few companies that will sell bulk items online, and I found a few for you on the website here. And one of them is called lowpricefoods.com, and they have all sorts of foods on here that are heavily reduced. There's not lots and lots of pages, but you know, there's quite a lot of savings. It's generally more snack things, chocolates, biscuits. Oh, wait a minute, no, I beg your pardon, they've got all sorts of things other than snacks, but they've got fajita kits and noodles, coffee from Starbucks, and chocolate bars, etc. Then they've got groceries and household, so let's look at household, and toilet rolls and kitchen rolls and things like that. And health and beauty as well, pet stuff it says. And I haven't got pets, so I don't know roughly if this is any good, but it says 24 dog treats instead of £9 is £3.95. So they've got quite a lot of things on that one. That's lowpricefoods.com. Another one I found is scoopwholefoods.com. And this is a really nice site, and it's got lots and lots of pulses, teas, sugars, seeds, nuts, flour, dry fruit, chocolate treats, and you can buy them per 100 grams right up to enormous quantities. And that's quite a nice site as well. You need to obviously compare the prices between these sites to what you are currently buying, of course. If you find a bulk website and you group together with friends, family, etc., and buy huge amounts of produce and then split it up, you can often save a lot of money. I've noticed in some of the major supermarkets that they have what they call world food sections, and they have large, massive big bags, 10 kilo bags of rice and flours and various big bulk bags of things. Tesco have got a sort of a shelf now where you can buy bulk items like massive big packets of tea bags and washing powders, things like that, and they're great ways of saving money if you buy a massive one. You've got to have some storage for these things, and you can share them out and dilute the cost with your friends and family, or store them somewhere in the house if you've got room, etc. So they're always a really good way of saving money. Buying in season, again, bulk buying in season when produce is in season, it's cheaper and it saves a lot of money, and you can be looking at ways to preserve those things. These are usually fresh goods, fruit, vegetables. You can buy them very, very cheaply when they're in season, and most foods like that can be preserved in some way. It can either be preserved in the freezer by dehydrating it, drying it out, or preserving it in a vinegar, or like making it into chutney or jams or soups. So there's lots and lots of ways. So that is worth the investment, buying things when they are on offer and they are in good condition, and preserving them for a future time, so you can pick up bargains. And I really feel that they're worth spending the money on all the time if you can find something and buy it in bulk and save money in the long run that way. So I'd recommend that, and check out these bulk sites. I came across also Costco. I used to be a member of Costco years ago when I had a business, and if you're in a certain trade and you've been employed in certain professions, you can get a card for Costco, or if you've got a business you can get a card for Costco, and they sell bulk items as well, discounted, and it's a really great store. You can get all sorts. I mean, in the past we bought snooker tables and basketball, huge equipment and things like that, as well as your everyday washing powder and clothes and fruit and vegetables, etc. So that's well worth it, and they actually deliver now online as well, which is really good. So have a little look in those things as well. So yeah, plan your meals, what you're going to make ahead of time, and that will save you money. Have a little look what the bargains are in all the shops and stock up on those things if it's something that you can preserve and use and it's going to be cost effective in that respect. Check those store cupboards and pantries and bottoms of freezers and get those things used up, making new recipes along the way so it's all nice and interesting for the family, something different. And if you're travelling a long distances to the supermarket, make sure you plan your trip, make sure you visit lots of different shops and, you know, saving money so that you're not popping out every other day to the shop and, you know, costing you petrol, etc. And see if you can get some good bargains while you're there, and that'll go towards recouping the petrol that you've saved, because obviously most of the supermarkets will deliver to your door and they will actually charge you anything from about £1 up to about £6–7 at peak season delivery costs. You can buy delivery savers from most of the supermarkets, a monthly subscription fee, which works out cheaper if you're having a regular shop from them, but then you're obviously tied in, if you like, to shop at that store regularly, and that's the point of it all, obviously, from there. So that's my tips really on saving money on food and households. And now I'm going to go back to talking about saving money dressmaking, because you know I'm into my crafts, and recently check out my other videos where I have made clothes using recycled fabric. So I'm going to talk about actually how to get patterns and fabric cheaper, because patterns and fabric these days can cost a fortune, can't they? Let's face it. I mean, you've got all your large pattern houses, the big four brands, of course, really, and lots of other smaller brands, and you've got now your modern indie brands, as they call them, and some of those patterns can be downloadable PDFs, which can be from anything that's free right up to I think about £12–13, and then the printed ones can be on average about £17–18 each for a pattern, which, you know, they are really lovely. And there is a trend, there's a lot of YouTube people online now promoting all these indie pattern brands and fabrics and encouraging people just to buy them. So it's very important to be mindful about what you are buying, what patterns you're buying, and how much you're spending on patterns, and the duplication of patterns, because a lot of them, when you start getting quite a few, and I've shown you in previous videos my pattern stash, is that sometimes they're kind of overlapping, because we've all got like styles that we really like, haven't we? So we're drawn to those. So I love my dresses and skirts. I do like my stripy tops, and so I'm kind of drawn to those sort of patterns. And there's other ones that I think I like the look at, but the question is, you know, should I buy them? Because really, I think the main thing is to do is, what I'm seeing is when people have got all these patterns, they're buying them because they like them. But you know, if you went into a clothes shop, you would try on a dress, wouldn't you, before you bought it? You know, it's a big investment. It's going to probably cost you about £85 for this dress. So you go and try it on first, and you know then if it likes you, that style. Well, with a dressmaking pattern, generally speaking, you might think, oh, I like that, and you just buy it. Now, if you're buying it at £18, it's quite a lot of money. Now, that style might not actually suit you. You know, it might not suit your figure type and shape. You know, so you know, we're all buying these things, and we're not always having the chance of seeing what that finished article would look like on our body shape. So my advice would be, is if you like a certain pattern, go and find a similar thing in a shop and try it on and see if it actually it will suit your body shape, because not all things will they? I mean, I like these huge big sort of tent-like flowing dresses, but it adds about 3 more stone onto my body shape, and I don't need any more, you know, bulking out and adding on. You know, I find that more fitted things are a bit more suitable at the moment to my body shape. So I've resisted on buying that, because I know actually that when I tried a dress on like that, it didn't actually suit me. So, you know, what's the point of buying this £18 pattern that I keep seeing that I really want, because it's not going to actually suit me. So just be mindful about the style of things, you know, because we can all get drawn into buying stuff that, you know, we've seen somebody else has got and we think we might want. So just bear that in mind. Also, if it is a really expensive pattern, have a little look to see if you can get it anywhere else cheaper. So that's the first thing. You've seen the pattern that you really like. If it's a specific pattern that you really like, is any other pattern company doing the same pattern? Try and compare the patterns and see if there's anything else, because you might find that there's something that is the same style that you can get half the price. Yes, it might be something that looks like an indie pattern, but it might be a style that is a very almost common style, what you can find in all of the big pattern companies that have produced something already like that, you know. So don't get drawn into thinking you've just got to have that one pattern, because there's a lot of overlaps out there, and, you know, patterns have been going for years and years, decades and decades, haven't they? You know, so especially with vintage patterns as well, you've got to be careful with vintage patterns, because vintage patterns are a lot smaller than the current day sizing. So, you know, if you were currently a size 12 and you go and buy a size 12 vintage pattern, you're going to have some adjustments. You're going to probably have to make it a larger. So make sure that you check the sizing. That's very, very, very important with yourself. So we've found the pattern we want. Let's see if any other pattern houses do that style and if it's cheaper. If they don't, is there anywhere else that we can buy it from? So go online, do a compare, see, you know, Google or Bing or whatever, try and compare and look for that particular pattern, because it might be that someone else is selling it off. They might have a reduction on it, you know, different company might have a promotion of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% off those patterns at the moment, and you might get a really good deal. So try that first. Hobbycraft are really good at very regularly having 50% sales on their certain patterns. So often if I know I want a specific pattern and I don't want it right now, and to be quite honest, most of us have got lots of projects on the go that we don't actually have to do something immediately doing, so we can wait. I generally wait for Hobbycraft and I'll get it on at 50% off. Simple as that, because it's really, really good. But as well, there's one called So Direct on the internet as well, and they sometimes do half price patterns as well. So, you know, you get a brand new pattern and you get it for half price. Also, patterns can be resold on Facebook Marketplace. There's lots of people who may well buy a PDF pattern and they'll download it and they'll trace that pattern off, and then they will resell the patterns as the printed PDF, because they've not actually cut into the pattern, and then they resell it. So you get yourself a good bargain, because they often are a lot cheaper than, you know, what you would pay for brand new. And that's really good with the indie patterns as well, to pick up one of those that's cheaper. So if you've got a specific one, I'd do a search on Facebook Marketplace for a specific pattern, or also just make a post to say, is anybody selling this pattern, number blah blah blah, and a picture of it, and then often if anybody is, they'll, you know, come back to you. You know, you might have to wait a while, but you might be lucky on that. And also on Facebook Marketplace, there's lots of pages for destashing fabric and patterns for sale, resale. So you can often find patterns really, really cheap on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes you can pick them up for like £8 to £10 plus postage and packing. Indie patterns, which would normally be about £18. So, you know, it's nearly half price. Just post what you're looking for, or keep looking regularly, and you often pick up some nice indie patterns, as well as your top sort of, your Vogues, your Simplicity, Buttericks and all that sort of new look and all that sort of thing. You know, they're always on Facebook Marketplace as well. And then ask around for friends that you know are sewing, see if they want to do any pattern swaps, or anybody's got any patterns they want to give you, or, you know, they're getting rid of. Just ask your friends and family and see if anybody else has got anything like that. And then the last place I would recommend is charity shops. Charity shops often have patterns, craft areas, craft sections, always have a little look in there. That's really good for patterns and notions and fabrics. And I always sort of have a little look if there is a particular charity shop that I know sells things like that. You know, sometimes you'll get in a town a charity shop that specialises in crafts, and they have a nice section selling all sorts of stuff, and they're always worth going to because you can pick up patterns and vintage patterns and fabric and things like that, sewing and cloths and stuff like that, so that's always handy. And that's a great place to get your fabric from as well. And you'll have seen that I've got a few videos on where I've made dresses and sort of granny chic over aprons and things like that, and I've used old curtain, I say old, curtain fabric and bedding fabric that I may have picked up and like the Asda sale, you know, somewhere like that. But charity shops do a lot of fabric, and you can pick up, sometimes they'll have a pound sale rail, clothing rail, and you might be able to pick up lots of different clothes, like skirts or dresses, and then cut them up and make things out of the fabric, you know, because if you get a bit nifty with your fabric, you know, you can, if you like the fabric patterns and designs, then you can make all sorts of things if you look out for them in charity shops. So I'd always check for fabric in a charity shop. Also check your dressmaking and your factory outlets and your factory shops when they're having sales. Go down and see if you can pick up bargains for your fabric there as well. And there's some great cheap online shops selling cheap fabric. The only downside I think with those is you're not absolutely able to feel it, and if you're not knowledgeable about fabric content and what they are, like I don't know what rayon, and I think I know what visco's weight and feel is, but there's lots of terms of fabric that I'm not quite sure of when I look online, and I like to really feel it and see if it's got some weight and if it would be nice draped as a top or draped as a dress. So, you know, you've got to really be knowledgeable about the fabric and the weight and the content of things when you do buy online. Again, Facebook Marketplace for fabric de-stashers sites. People often sell their accumulated piles of fabric on fabric at Facebook Marketplace, and that's really good. Asking friends and family if they're getting rid of things like curtains or clothing or anything like that, you know, and you can make something with them. And also seeing if you can do a fabric swap in your local town, you know, and see if there's anything like that, or if anyone's having a closing down sale or a half price sale and getting rid of things. It's worth looking for. The best place to get sewing machines, if you want a sewing machine, is, I would say, Facebook Marketplace, or asking friends and family again. If anybody's got an old sewing machine that they're not using and they'll gift you or sell you cheaply, that's good. Also like Gumtree or Freecycle, you could post something on there to see if anybody's got an old sewing machine they want to gift. That's good. Also, these sewing magazines that are in the supermarkets that have patterns in them, and I should have mentioned that before actually. You pay about £10 to £15 for a magazine. You'll sort of see them if you go in your major supermarkets, and they've got patterns in them. And usually there's 2 patterns in there, sometimes 3. So you get the magazine and 2 or 3 patterns included. Now if that's £10 or if it's £15, it still works out a really good value if you want the patterns, of course. If you don't want them and the random patterns, then it's not going to be worth doing. But if you subscribe to these magazines, there's often offers with them, and I've recently seen that one of them, I think it's I Love Sewing or the other sewing magazine, if you subscribe for the year you get a free sewing machine with it. And it looked like it was a really good one. I think it was a Janome or a Singer, which they're very, very good for starting off and even doing, you know, most things. So that's good. That comes for free, and that's worth over £100. And then another one was doing a dressmaking dummy, which I wish I'd actually done with that, because I could do a dressmaking dummy actually. but I didn't. I think that might have finished by now. There's lots of free gifts if you subscribe as well, so they're always worth checking out. I think the main thing then to recap it is, with everything, is don't get enticed to buy things just because they are reduced, be it food, household, fabric, crafts, things like that. Buy what you need. Buy it if it's very, very cheap and you know for sure that you can use it. Don't buy so much in excess so you've got piles and piles of fabric. If you're getting rid of clothes, remember, like your grandma used to do, take your zip out, take your buttons off, try and see if you can upcycle that item. You know, if it's just that it's got something torn, or, you know, there's a stain on something but you still like it, can you put a patch on it? Can you make it, you know, a nice bit of embroidery around it, you know, so it looks like you've meant to do that, you know, and then keep wearing it? Or can you cut it up and make something else out of it? You know, if it was a nice dress, and you like the pattern, can you make some toiletries and shoe bags or something out of it, you know, to use again for the future, makeup bag or something like that. There's always a lot of patterns that need very small pieces of fabric or scraps of fabric. Patchwork, you can make patchwork out of lots of different cut up pieces of fabric as well. So try and use up everything and try and plan what you want to do. So on this table I've got a few of my packets which I think you'll have seen last time. I've put them now into bags. I'm going to start off doing some. I got this from a charity shop. This was a nice pattern called the Imaging dress. These are sort of patterns that you get free with that subscription, and this one's a lovely dress, and I got this fabric from one of these online fabric stores, and it was very cheap. I think it was Pound Fabrics, that one, so that was the one. I put it in a bag, so I've got my bags ready so I can get on with my sewing. I thought I'm going to get organised. Just been on a few holidays lately, so I've picked up this beautiful fabric in a charity shop. Some must have been upholsterers donated it. Lovely, I'm going to make a nice cushion out of that. There's just enough. Unfortunately, I can't centre the flowers in the middle of the cushion, but you know, hey ho, doesn't matter. It's beautiful. So that's my project. This I've shown you before. Another one of these lovely sort of granny chic Dotty Angel apron dresses, and this one, you know, what was this now? Oh yeah, this was fabric I bought. I was going to make a curtain out of it. It's very thin. I've not done, so I thought that's great. And this one I bought this new. This was from Fabric Giant, I think, was it? Anyway, and I got this in a sewing magazine, which is a prairie dress, so I must get on with that. So these are the ones I'm doing. So I'm planning. I've got some plans. I'm not buying anything else. So it's all about planning, not buying so much, trying to save money on basically everything if we can do. I hope it's been a useful video. I hope you're doing all right, and I hope you've got some nice projects on the go, and I hope you can save a bit of money, and I hope what I've told you has been useful in any way. It's been lovely to have you here, and please subscribe. If you've got any other tips of saving money for food or household ways, and also on fabrics or dressmaking or craft items, leave them in the comments so everybody else can see them, and let's share everything together. So thank you so much everybody for watching me, and I will see you again hopefully very soon. Bye now.